Suicide Squad publisher promises even more live service games. Get ready for future Batman and Harry Potter games to want even more money from your wallet. During Warner Brothers Games 2023 Quarter 3 earnings call, WB Discover CEO David Zaslav explained that the publisher behind games like Batman Arkham Knight and Suicide Squad will focus on creating more always online free to play live service games. WB Games, the video game publishing branch of the media conglomerate WB Discovery, has had a pretty solid few years with big hits like Hogwarts Legacy, Mortal Kombat 1, and Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. But its big DC Comics live service co op action game Gotham Knights flopped, and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is its upcoming online co op game, also set in the DC universe, and which also appears to be another live service thing, has seen numerous delays while fans have reacted negatively to its feature. Despite this, WB Games has plans to do more games like Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad in the future. During November 8th's earnings call, Zaslav opened with a summary of the company's ongoing projects, finances, and plans across film, TV, and games. Zaslav called WB Games' library of popular franchises a real growth opportunity and a key asset in its arsenal. He also made it clear that single-player games like Arkham City aren't really on the menu anymore. That's a mistake. Our focus is on transforming our biggest franchises from largely console and PC based with 3-4 year release schedules to include more always on gameplay through live services, multi platform, and free to play extensions, explains Zaslav. The goal is to have more players spending more time on more platforms. Further, the WB Discover CEO told investors that this push to create more live service, always online video games would help drive engagement and monetization, and added that these type of games provide a significant opportunity to generate greater post-purchase revenue. In other words, Zaslav wants to pump out more live service games like the upcoming Suicide Squad because the company can make more money from microtransactions in the long run. And looking ahead how expensive the cosmetics are in Mortal Kombat 1, I'm not excited about future WB games and their in-game stores. I imagine many folks reading this aren't fans of more games going the live service route. I'm one of them. But I also don't think Zaslav cares about that. He's made a habit of making bad choices that anger people in recent years. So, what do you think about Zaslav wanting to make more live action, always online games that depend on microtransactions to make a profit?
It's not going to work well for the long run. Maybe for the short run, for some games, like the three main games so far that's going well for the last 5 years now, plus, is Apex Legends, Fortnite, and PUBG. And Apex Legends, I hear it's good still to play. Well, not most players. I'm not sure about most players, but there are some players out there saying that they don't like to play Apex Legends after a while. So I don't know why they're saying that. In my perspective, I play it every day, all day long, obviously. But Fortnite, that's the head honcho. They've been in get the game since 2017, making microtransactions, stuff like that. So if you try to add more to the market of different games of these same style type of microtransactions and live games and stuff, it just saturates the market and not many people are gonna stick by most of your product. It's not gonna work well in the long run. Short term, yes. So you'll see new games, new content after a while, but after 6 months to a year, it's like, okay, we see the same thing over and over. But how many gun games so far? Oh, sure, it might be different styles, different here and there. But if it's a dime a dozen, it's gonna saturate the market. It's just they'll see like these gaming companies today, or these gaming officials, gaming makers, or not makers, but the investors or the ones behind doing the business actualities of these gaming and stuff like that is they're not thinking straight or not thinking long term. So this is my opinion, of course, at the very end of the day. But to the long run, like I keep saying, it's all about how much can you make in a long periods of time before the product runs out or the product is no longer valid. So look at games like Atari and stuff like that. After how many decades so far? 50 years now, 55 almost. These Atari games still out in the market by certain third-party makers and stuff like that. So you may not get a direct profit, Atari, but they still have their game out there and it's still making extended coverage to other gamers out there who are brand new to the scene of gaming. But that's just those ready-made games already made up for the completion of the game. Live action games just never ended to a point where it's like you'd be incomplete 6 months afterward, and just like 100 players still playing the game. That's what happened with Anthem. That's supposed to be a live service team that was to have like about 1 million players still playing it after a couple of years. Look at where it's at now. As of like 4 years ago, last time I played the game on live on service, whatever, it was like maybe like 100 people playing it. So it might be like 10 people at best still playing it if you know how to work around the servers and do all the stupid shit with the manipulation of the network and stuff like that. But that's just for the Xbox and PS4. But for the PC, of course, might be like maybe like 20 people, 23 people still playing it to this day, if you're lucky. So it's a horrible market right now for Anthem, and you can never recover from it because the graphics were fucked up and they were like diluted. Because obviously that's what they're pumping them out like the factory said, and like I mentioned earlier in this podcast. So I don't know what they're trying to do exactly, but it's just they're trying to take too much about money and not about quality, like I keep saying. So
I couldn't have said it better. What Zaslav wants to do is basically a reason that I'm going to be focusing more on retro in 2024 and on, other than instead of newer games. It's going to be games I still enjoy playing, or games that I never got a chance to try out when they first came out.
mhm.
NES, SNES, Genesis, as long as they're not extraordinary prices. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so um, yeah, so I mean, he can do this if he wants. People are gonna vote with their wallets, obviously. But yeah, this is not gonna be a good. This is not gonna be a good thing going forward. Um, I really wish they would just focus on quality. Just go back to when you were making good games. That's the difference between Arkham Knight and Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights flopped, but Arkham Knight was good. But Arkham Knight wasn't throwing microtransactions at you. I don't know if Gotham Knights was doing that, but there's a reason Gotham Knights flopped. So yeah, what Zaslav like, I'll just repeat my point. What Zaslav wants to do is why I'm going to be focusing more on retro.
I should have said too. I have like Dreamcast games I haven't played in years, and why I might as well share that experience with you guys through the
Yeah,
recordings if I know how
I
to.
still got a copy of Shenmue, to be honest.
Wow, that's cool, dude. You gotta keep that kind for the Dreamcast. It's gonna be worth something in the future.
Well,
It
it's
may be
disc only,
used.
but
It may be used, like I said. It's not gonna worth as much, but it's still be worth to keep on to for its
dude, it's
novelty and stuff like that. So
disc only. It's still worth like $50 last I checked.
it might be worth $100 the next 25 years. You never know.
Well, I'm not going to be holding on to it that long, but I might be holding on to it till I at least complete it this time, because I do have a Shenmue game saved on my Dreamcast memory card.
Well, yeah. Also, got to consider too that the Shenmue games, Shenmue 1 and 2, are also on the Xbox One and PS4. So
Yeah,
you know,
but I really don't. I mean, it, you know what? I got the first game for Dreamcast already with me. You know,
yeah,
so
I understood. But here's the thing, though. Shenmue. I always want to go get back to gameplay with that with you guys too after all these years too. I mean, last time I played it online within my Xbox on the YouTube, that is, was BitChute was like 3 years ago. So things definitely changed since then because of Apex and all. But one day I will go get back to gameplay that with you guys and check it out again. So it's a good experience playing those type of games. Unfortunately, it does get repetitive if you're not going anywhere after a while, and the time progresses little by little over the day or two.
yeah.
So that's a downside to that game as well. That's why I haven't played it as much since God knows when. So it's but you got to keep adding. I keep like making more, finding more clues and finding more stores and stuff like that. People, so it's a progressively good game. Yeah, it takes some time to get more into it. So,
All right.
but yeah, but speaking of the live service games and all, it's they're not thinking long term, like I keep saying. I know I'm repetitive with this matter. It's just that this these companies are not doing so well for the last couple of years at least because of the economy and all, and it just like they just don't care about like the longevity of their products. Because Sony, yes, they've been there for what around for at least 50 years now with their groundbreaking products like the Walkman, the CD Walkman, um, their the MP3 players.
If they were
Uh,
behind the Walkman, the first Walkman came out in '79.
Yeah, Sony made the Walkman more popular last time I checked because they were the main show in the 20th century, mid to late 20th century. They were like the popular product to buy from certain electronics. So
Okay.
my aunt will always buy me like Christmas stuff like that for the birthday of like certain electronics from Sony. Last time I checked, they don't think about it themselves because they're not techno freaks like I was back in the day. But every time I get something from my aunt and my mom about electronics, it's always Sony, it's always Microsoft, it's always IBM. So these guys been around for how many decades, if not a century, if ever. IBM's been around since they're the Nazis stuff like that, doing helping them out with their patients, with their experiments, stuff like that. I know it sounds grim and very creepy, but that's the dark side of IBM right there. They've been around that for that long. So
Okay.
so
Yeah, so like we said, this is just a clear cut example of something of what we don't like about the gaming industry.